ma'am.
Yes.
Are you able to call the anesthesiologist?
Someone is coming to take you to labor and delivery.
That's not what I asked.
I cannot help.
Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black one? Hello, TikTok family. This is a follow-up on the video that I posted earlier. So I was at work. I had no idea of the activity that was going on. My daughter's texting me, calling me. I didn't know what was going on. So finally I get home, they tell me about the video, and a lot of you was asking about a follow-up and to explain the situation. So this is the situation. My daughter went into active labor at home. We took her to the hospital. She called ahead of time, so we know they are expecting us. However, we get there to the emergency room. We watching nurses, putting gloves on, running to the door. They get outside of the door, and I drive a black SUV, and they look at my vehicle, and one of the nurses come up to the window, and she goes, I'm sorry, this is for ambulance only. I said, well, my daughter is in active labor. And she was like, okay. She said, but you're going to have to go to the front. I'm like, I have to drive to the front. And they said, yeah, you have to drive to the front. Okay, another redhead. And so I'm like, so she's you hear, and it was like, yeah, she started bagging up, hit the button, went back inside the building. So I go around to the front. I get out of the car. Again, this girl is in more pain now than she was when we first left the house. And she started saying, I feel pressure, I feel pressure. I said, take deep breaths. I ran in. I said, hey, my daughter's in the car. I went to emergency. They told me I had to come to the front. So the lady was like, what's your daughter's name? Told her Kiara Jones. She gets out some paperwork. Started typing in the name. I was like, ma'am, do you have a wheelchair or anything? She's in the car. I need to get her in. Oh, if you check on the other side of those doors where the vending machine's at, there should be a wheelchair out there. There's no wheelchair out there. So she gets up, she walks in the back, and she come to the door with a wheelchair. She said, here you go, ma'am. I said, excuse me, you're not going to come with me? And she was like, no. Oh, okay. So a police officer was in the lobby. He gets up. He grabbed a wheelchair. He goes out the door with me. He said, come on, I got you. Went out there. She is on hands and knees in the back of the vehicle. And I'm like, oh, shit, what is going on? And then she goes, it's in my ass. And I was like, what? And the guy was like, and she was like, he said, okay, she was like, give me a minute. She could not move. So when that contraction eased, we put her in a wheelchair. He said, you can go park your car, because they, again, had people out there. So I went park my car. It wasn't even 30 seconds. I run back in the building. She's just there with a stack of papers in her hand, screaming that this baby is coming. This baby is coming. I look at the registers behind the window, and they looking at me, and they was like, well, we can't do anything until she signed the papers. Are you fucking kidding me? So I grabbed the papers, and of course, it's all ER bullshit that they have. And I was like, you want her to sign this, and she's in active labor. And they was like, okay. I was like, ma'am, she was supposed to be induced earlier today at 8 o'clock. And they called and told her that they would call her because they didn't have beds. And they would let her know. And no one ever called back. They called back every hour on an hour. And it was like, no, we'll call you back. And then finally, her water break, she called them. They tell her to come in. So why is she signing these papers? We need her in labor and delivery. And it was like, ma'am, I'm sorry. So the charge nurse comes out. And she saw the paper signed. What fucking, are you serious right now? And she closes the door. And then the lady behind the window at this point, My daughter, scribbled her name on all the papers. We gave it to her. She says, thank you. She walked it around to the charge nurse. She opened up the door. My daughter is literally like having a contraction. And she's just standing there in the door. So we push her into the door. I said, can we get her into labor and delivery? She said, no, we have to fill out all this paperwork. I have to do the paperwork and get her a band before we can send her upstairs. So that was the video that you guys saw that I initially posted. So the next video that has no picture on it was when I was pushing her in and we was at the window because they asked me to move her from the window so they can take care of other guests or, patients that was coming in and out. Do not go to this hospital. This hospital is ghetto as hell. They do not care about black women or their babies. This is crazy. I read about stuff like this all the time. But to see this firsthand, this lady did not care. None of them. It wasn't until we got into labor and delivery where we saw an ounce of care or sympathy for her. Before then, they can care less. She did not care if she gave birth in that wheelchair. That was not her problem or her concern.
I just watched something that absolutely disgusted me. As a former ER nurse and a current labor and delivery nurse, I usually try to seek the best intent of a nurse. Not today. Not today. Because barring you having a medical emergency yourself, where your legs, your arms, and your voice no longer work, there is zero excuse for the blatant neglect that I just watched. And as a reminder, Black women are 3 times as likely to die in and around childbirth than their white counterparts. Part of that is because they are not believed about their pain. How you can sit there on the computer and act like you don't notice that this woman is actively birthing beside you is crazy town to me. Unacceptable, inexcusable. And if you've got coworkers who you watch do something like that, you are just as culpable.
Hey guys, I'm here with Mom and Baby Cash. They are doing well. He has a doctor's appointment tomorrow at the pediatric center. It's a lot of concerns. They taking tests on him. He still have to go through several other tests down the line because he was born with his eyes open, and due to the stress and trauma that occurred in the triage area, the baby had a bowel movement in Mom, and the fluids was green, and like I said, he born with his eyes open. So they are, taking all that in consideration as well. But he's eating well, sleeping well, looking good. And I was also reading a lot of the comments, and some of you under the impression it was twins. They are not twins. This is daughter with baby Cash, and this is other daughter with baby DJ. They are a month apart. DJ born 10/10 and KJ born 11/11. Thank you again for your support and your concerns, and we will most definitely keep you updated.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
are you able to call the anesthesiologist?
Someone is coming to take you to labor and delivery. cannot know.
Okay, so after my shock of seeing this Black woman in so much agony and pain, I did go search a bit deeper and saw the videos from the TikTok account Sugar Babies, or you can see here Cashman 2814 on TikTok. And this is the mother of the Black woman that you saw, who was in active labor while also not getting any type of care. So you hear from the mom. And so the mom really walks through the entire process, from them calling ahead to the hospital to trying to get her somewhere close, knowing that she's in active labor, to them telling her, the staff telling her that they're not going to be able to help her. They barely want to get her a wheelchair, telling her she has to go around and use another entrance. And to hear that an officer was the one that actually helped this woman get out of the vehicle as she's in this state. Like, you can see her to where we see in the video now. And then there's another video I'm keeping to the end. You can watch it. She has her phone in her purse, I'm assuming, or somewhere else, but you can hear what's happening, and they're trying to work through this process before they get her seen by anyone. And then the initial clip that you saw, this woman's asking about anesthesia, like she's in that much pain, and the nurse, you hear her saying, "I can't help you." This is insane. Honestly, if you don't have any respectful comments, I don't even want you to comment on this video. But if you do care, please do share the video that I'm linking. I linked it in the last video I posted, and then I will link it here and pin it in the comments. This is insane. People do not cease to show how disgusting they can be to other people. And so I am just happy to see the videos that were shown of the baby Cash and the mom, and there's a condition, they need health care, but she was able to share more about the reasoning of why the mom was in so much pain. Like, this could have ended really badly. And it's just the fact that pregnant women don't get the care. You have, for people that are saying, oh, we're pro-life and this and that, clearly you don't care about life. You got 2 lives right here, and this is how nurses are acting. You don't care. You're not pro-life. Anywho, that's all I have to say. The positive of all of this is that they are okay. But I hate to see that she had to go through so much pain unnecessarily when she could have and should have had the care that she needed. Let me know what y'all think. If you have something respectful to say, otherwise don't comment. Just share the video. If you do have TikTok, I am sharing the link, so you should be able to click on it, go and share it out. I just think there needs to be more visibility on this. And like the woman that was saying, she does work in the healthcare field, I believe, she was saying that, this is outrageous, this is not right, being someone that works in healthcare. And she stated what I shared in the other video as well. I think people know it's very common now for people to talk about the fact that Black women, when pregnant especially, have a greater mortality rate, and it's due to situations like this. It's due to people like this. It's due to people not believing, even if you can hear the screams and see a woman in such pain, still not believing or not caring, because either they hate, the Black women, or I don't know, just whatever isms are there. This is unacceptable, and people like this should not work in healthcare. Anyway, I'm going to close it out. I just wanted to come back with the video since I did see that there were some other posts by the mom, and there was a positive ending here, and we actually were able to see the baby. And I know in the video she had in the post that, the son was born 12 minutes later, but I know a lot of people only listen to audio to a lot of videos, and I did want to actually show that the baby was healthy, mom looked healthy. There is a condition which you heard her talk about that they need, you know, help with. There's also an Amazon wish list on Sugar Baby's TikTok page. So if you care and you would like to give something to this family, feel free to. Again, I'll have the links down below and in the comments. And with that, I will see y'all in another video.
You ready? Waiting on him. Inside the
Do you know how much?
Are y'all for real right now? So,
Do you know how much
if
you
she
weigh?
have give birth in a chair, that's what it is?
I can't take her upstairs without. Let me see your arm.
Which is what?
Let me see your arm.
So you'll take a chance of infections and her having a baby in this
Take
chair.
your arm up.
So she's not a priority. Because this right here is...
Fuck!
When's your due date?
Right now!
Is your due date 11?
What?
How many times have you been pregnant?
3!
This is your third pregnancy?
Yes!
You have two babies. You have two babies at home. Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Beverly, this is the first time patient for you. Alright, last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure when her due date is.
Her due date
I
is
just
the
said it
10th.
was the 10th!
I think her due date is the 10th.
She got 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home.
Two construction answer about every 2 minutes.
I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors.
Oh!